Really lucky to. I don't really remember how I came across Vietfest. I think it was probably on Facebook, to be honest. But I came in contact with Christian and Bobby and Nick, and I was lucky enough to come down here. I think it was like 2015 for Vietfest Got Talent, and I was honored to be that year's winner. I did electric violin and singing, and ever since then they've been gracious enough to allow me to continue to be a part of the Vietfest community and the Vietnamese community in general. And I love all the connections because I was also adopted. I heard someone was adopted from the contestants, so I was adopted into a white family, so we don't have a lot of merging with the Vietnamese community otherwise. So this is my really great opportunity to see everybody in the Vietnamese community and feel really included. And in 2018, I was lucky enough to be Miss Vietfest. And I had an incredible year. To be honest, I forget a lot of everything that was in today. So I don't remember. I remember I did a lot of events in the area with Virginia and DC and cultural events. I remember one. I don't know if you remember the name of it, but it was where they had like games, and I learned how to. Yeah, I went there and it was really fun too, and I got to learn a little bit more of the Vietnamese culture there. So I really have had a great time, not only just representing as Miss Vietfest 2018, but being a part of the Vietnamese community through Vietfest. So I'm really grateful for all the people in this organization because they make me feel like family.
Thank you, Grace. So, as you know, all these gifts that are all the prizes that we have that we've been giving away for the past 2 days. Give me 1 second. Yeah, we
technical difficulties over there. We have Lynn Pham from Goose Insurance. We also got Franchella Pham. She's a pro title serving you in Virginia, Maryland, DC, and Florida. We got Tuấn Trần from Ameris Bank. We have Marcy Lay from Samson Properties. We have B. Lay from Realty One Group. We have Huy Mi from M&K Enterprises. We have Mi Va from Mi Va Management. We have Dixon at Beautiful. And then we have Huy Chang from Hair Salon and Eden Center. So these are the folks who donated prizes that you've seen won throughout the day, and we wanted to thank them so much for their support and their sponsorship for making this all possible.
Yes, and as I was mentioning before, this raffle helps us, make some money so that we can continue to have Vietfest here. So I hope that you all will continue to support us. And just remember, Vietfest is here every August. It's either going to be the first week or second week of August. So always look for us, and we will always be here, okay? All right, so next we are going to draw our Crystal UHD TV. So which one should I draw first, the TV or PS5? I said 50. Yes, all right. We're gonna do the Samson first, okay? Let's see who the lucky winner is. Let's spin this a little bit. Would you like to spin it, Grace? Yeah, go ahead. Give it a good spin. All right. Now, when you take out the ticket, you can look inside, okay? All right. So the next lucky winner will win the 50-inch Samsung TV. Yeah. All right. Now you have to just read their names and the last 4 digits of the phone number, okay? All right. Oh my goodness, I think I know this person. All right. The name on the ticket is Lê Bích Phượng, SBTN. I think a lot of people know who she is, right? Oh my goodness. Woo! Congratulations, Jay. Oh, really? Of course, she didn't put her phone number on because she works for SBTN, so I think a lot of people in the community knows her. Okay? So, congratulations. Wait. in order for you to win this, you gotta be able to carry it, okay? Uh-oh, here she goes. Don't drop it. All right, guys, can I have somebody help her? Thank you. Thank you. Our next person that's going to be drawing this last prize is Miss District of Columbia. Can you introduce yourself?
Okay. I'm sorry. I was talking with Grace. Yeah, hi, I'm Allison Gall. How are you all tonight? Wonderful. Thank you. It's so wonderful to be here with all of you. I grew up in Raleigh, North Carolina, and was blessed enough to be friends with some, in fact, my best friends were members of the AAPI community, and so it left such an impact on me that when I graduated from law school and finally got a real job and started making money and got the chance to go anywhere I wanted in the world, I picked Vietnam, Cambodia, and Laos and spent a great deal of time there touring around with my dad, getting to know the people, and came back with such a wonderful impression of the communities in those countries and the deep, rich culture that when I was lucky enough to meet Nick, and he told me about this Vietfest, I immediately was on board and was just so excited to come here and help support this community and see what a wonderful culture and community there is in DC. So thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here, and here you go, Bob.
Are you ready? All right. That's a great spin. All right, now you go ahead and reach in there and pick the winning ticket, and you can't look, okay? All right, let's see what the name is. Do we have a Susie Rapp? Susie Rapp. The last name is RHABB. The last 4 digits of the phone number is 8860. You want to confirm that? Susie Rapp, right?
That's correct.
All right. Where is Susie? I know all those guys sitting out there say, oh, there goes my PS5, but hey, there's always next year, okay? So Susie Rapp, we will call you for this PS5. And I want to again thank all the sponsors and thank everybody that have contributed by buying one of these raffle tickets. So here's an idea for next year. If there's anybody that wants to donate any of these gifts for our raffle, feel free. Contact us, vietfest.com, and we would love to accept that so that we can have a raffle like this. It's not just fun for everybody, but it helps us raise money to be able to give you this Vietfest every year here for free. Thank you. Thank you. All right.
To really, because these, can you guys give it up for these ladies? How amazing our contestants were. So truly, I don't know how the judges figured it out, but yeah, take your pictures. Amazing. Okay, are you guys ready to hear our top 6 contestants?
All right.
It doesn't sound like you want to hear them. Do you want to know our top 6 contestants?
And no Steve Harvey moments today. All right.
Laura, let's be nice to Mr. Vietfest.
I know. It's okay. I still love you guys. All right, go ahead.
All right, guys. Would you guys like to hold hands?
You want to hold hands? Yeah. All right, when your name is announced, let go and step forward, okay?
All right, so the first member of our top 6 is contestant number 3, Kylie Wiggs.
And the next girl to join our top 6 is contestant number 4, Brittany Wade.
Our next member of our top 6 is contestant number 2, Dinah Lett.
Our next contestant in top 6 is contestant number 7, Ashley Wade.
Okay, our next contestant who is going to make it to our top 6 is contestant number 5, Lynn Toomey. Great.
And last but not least, to join the top 6 is contestant number 1, Deanna Morgan. All right. Ladies, can you join the back of the line again?
And contestant number 1 is going to be staying on stage to do her final question.
Yeah, her final question.
So ladies, come down.
Ladies, you can exit the stage. Anna and Tin and Jenny.
All right, everyone. Now for my favorite part of the night, the on-stage question and answer. And everyone, I'm going to need all of you all to please listen. During this part, please be quiet because we want the judges to hear the contestants' answers. So please keep your screams, yelling, cheering to minimum, and just please applause, warm round of applause after the contestant is done, just so that the judges can hear the answer. So please be quiet, and just so you know, all the contestants, the other 5 contestants, are going to be in that building, and they will not be able to hear the final question.
Dạ, kính thưa quý vị, phần kế tiếp là phần Q&A. Chúng tôi xin phép quý vị giữ sự yên lặng để ban giám khảo có thể nghe rõ câu trả lời của mỗi thí sinh. Và trong phần này thì những thí sinh khác ở trong phòng kia sẽ không nghe được câu hỏi của thí sinh, cho nên thì rất là rõ ràng và fair.
Feeling tonight?
Very anxious, to be honest.
Oh, you look beautiful.
Thank you so much.
So Deanna, I'm going to read the question to you in English 2 times, and then Mr. Dinh will translate in Vietnamese for you. How has living during the global pandemic affected the way you see yourself as a Vietnamese American? How has living during the global pandemic affected the way you see yourself as a Vietnamese American?
Cuộc sống trong đại dịch toàn cầu ảnh hưởng như thế nào đến cách em tự nhìn nhận mình là người Mỹ gốc Việt?
Thank you for the question. So, as a Vietnamese American, I feel as though the Vietnamese community in general has a hard time speaking about mental health issues. And during the pandemic, I constantly struggled with severe depression and generalized anxiety disorder. And being shut away from my friends, my family, school, jobs, opportunities, it really led me to be at a halt, because I've always been the type of person to kind of just go out there and get what I want to achieve. But slowing down, it made me think and reflect a lot on who I was personally. I used to struggle a lot with my own heritage and culture, and being in a very not Vietnamese American dominant community, I never saw the types of cultures unless I was visiting my grandparents, so my Ông Ngoại. And when the pandemic happened, I stopped being around my culture and my heritage. So I used to journal a lot and reflect on who I was as a person. I became a person who was able to understand what I felt emotionally and internally, and really reflected on what I wanted to do for the Vietnamese American community, and spread that mental health issues are something that should be talked about in the Vietnamese American community. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm feeling very nervous but excited. Great, congrats on making to the top 6. Thank you so much. So I'm going to read the final question to you 2 times in English, and then we'll translate it into Vietnamese, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. How has living during the global pandemic affected the way you see yourself as a Vietnamese American? How has living during the global pandemic affected the way you see yourself as a Vietnamese American?
Cuộc sống trong đại dịch toàn cầu ảnh hưởng như thế nào đến cách em tự nhìn nhận mình là người Mỹ gốc Việt?
As a Vietnamese American in a global pandemic, of course I was inside the whole time. just not getting sick, but I did experience a lot of Vietnamese food and maybe learning with my grandma about the Vietnamese culture and all the Vietnamese food. Of course, the Vietnamese Facebook posts my grandma would give me, I'd be learning more about Vietnamese culture because I got a lot of time on my plate with the pandemic and no school. And I also want to be deeper into the culture because, I'm an American, a Vietnamese American who has not lived in Vietnam. So I don't know, so to not know my language and to not be able to speak clearly or sometimes not understand other Vietnamese people is kind of hard. So getting to know my roots and understanding my culture and practicing my polite, elegant etiquettes is very useful. And yeah, I feel like I just improved on my roots a lot more, and I've been learning a lot about my own country.
Trong cái mùa dịch này em bị nhốt ở nhà. Vì bị nhốt ở nhà, mình có cơ hội để mà tìm hiểu thêm về nguồn gốc của mình, nhất là bà ngoại, right? Your grandma or your mom?
Grandma.
Your grandma, nhất là từ bà ngoại. Thì trong khi đó em học hỏi nhiều về văn hóa của mình vì mình đã bị nhốt. Nhưng mà qua đó em đã biết thêm về gốc của mình rất là nhiều.
Thank you so much, Diana. Thank you. Congrats on making it to the final 6.
Thank you so much.
So for now, the question and answer, I'm going to read the question to you in English 2 times, and then we'll translate it into Vietnamese, okay? Are you ready?
Ready.
Perfect. How has living during the global pandemic affected the way you see yourself as a Vietnamese American? How has living during the global pandemic affected the way you see yourself as a Vietnamese American?
Cuộc sống trong đại dịch toàn cầu ảnh hưởng như thế nào đến cách em tự nhìn nhận mình là người Mỹ gốc Việt?
So, growing up in Central Virginia in a predominantly white community, I usually felt pretty isolated as a Vietnamese American. So when the pandemic came and a lot of events and organizations moved online, that actually made my world a little smaller. And it enabled me to access people and opportunities that I wouldn't have necessarily have had access to before. Thank you.
Khi vào đại dịch, chúng ta chuyển qua thế giới online, tại vì đó phương tiện nhiều hơn. Nhưng mà qua cái phương tiện online này thì cũng tạo cơ hội cho em connect với cộng đồng nhiều hơn.
Thank you so much, Kylie. Hi, Brittany. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. You look beautiful tonight, and congrats on making it to the final 6.
Thank you.
So I'm going to read the question to you 2 times in English, and then we'll translate into Vietnamese, okay? Perfect. How has living to yourself as a Vietnamese American? How has living during the global pandemic affected the way you see yourself as a Vietnamese American?
Cuộc sống trong đại dịch toàn cầu ảnh hưởng như thế nào đến cách nhìn nhận của em là người Mỹ gốc Việt?
During the COVID-19 pandemic, when school was closed and many people were unavailable and afraid to work, especially those in the healthcare field, however, I did, and that moment completely changed my whole entire life. From someone who has always loved to receive to someone who is willing to share and give back, I found more fulfillment and happiness in doing so. And I believe that I could carry this aspect to be the next Miss Vietfest and represent the Vietnamese American, because I would like to share my experience and teach the younger youth about the happiness of sharing and giving and having a positive outlook, especially in the chaos of the world right now where people have become so disconnected. There's a lack of socialization, communication, compassion, and most importantly, respect and understanding for each other. And I believe that if we can teach the younger youth about giving than receiving, then we can create a more positive and kinder world. Thank you.
Trong cái đại dịch này đã tạo cơ hội cho chúng ta để ý những người đã hy sinh, như là những bác sĩ, những cô y tá, những người paramedics, và qua đó thì em thấy là cái sự quan trọng thay vì mình nhận, mình cứ cho, đó là tốt hơn.
Thank you so much, Brittany. Hi, Lynn. How are you?
Well, thank you very much.
Congrats on making it to the top 6. For the final question, I'm going to read it to you in English 2 times, and then we'll translate into Vietnamese, okay? Sounds great. How has living during the global pandemic affected the way you see yourself as a Vietnamese American? How has living during the global pandemic affected the way you see yourself as a Vietnamese American?
Cuộc sống trong đại dịch toàn cầu ảnh hưởng như thế nào về cách nhìn tự nhận của em là người Mỹ gốc Việt?
Thank you for your question. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, judges. I remember watching the news during the pandemic. I know it might sound controversial, but I know many people blame Asian Americans for COVID during the pandemic. And I remember it was just heartbreaking watching the news. But it made me realize that I miss my Vietnamese roots. I wanted to reconnect with my culture because growing up in Baltimore, Maryland, there was no Vietnamese community. And watching the news and how people receive us as a cause for COVID, it just was really heartbreaking. So for me, during the pandemic, I would read about Vietnam, history about Vietnam, just so that I can regain my sense of identity living in America, because I lost out of touch. And being here at Vietfest for the first time made me realize how important culture and traditions, and I want to preserve it, because traditions and cultures give us a sense of belonging and security, because it can be isolating for us as a minority. And therefore, if I were to win Miss Vietfest, I would do everything I can to keep this tradition going on for many years to come. Thank you. Xin cảm ơn.
Cảm ơn em. Câu trả lời rất là hay, hơi khó cho anh nha, anh sẽ cố gắng. Trong thời gian dịch thì có nhiều người nước ngoài tưởng là và họ blame, như họ nghĩ là châu Á mình là lý do mà cái cuộc dịch này nó xảy ra. Mà cũng vì vậy em tự nhận mình và em muốn tìm hiểu về cái nguồn gốc người Việt Nam của mình nhiều hơn. Và khi em càng hiểu nhiều hơn thì em luôn luôn muốn cố gắng, nếu được thắng thì em sẽ cố gắng và giúp cho cái phần quảng bá văn hóa Việt Nam mình luôn luôn sẽ có mãi mãi.
Thank you so much, Lynn. How has living during the global pandemic affected the way you see yourself as a Vietnamese American? How has living during the global pandemic affected the way you see yourself as a Vietnamese American?
Cuộc sống trong đại dịch toàn cầu ảnh hưởng như thế nào đến cách nhìn nhận của em là người Mỹ gốc Việt?
For me, I think as a Vietnamese American, as a community, we've always been very resistant and persistent. Personally, for me, I see a lot of Asian hate that happened after COVID, and it touched my heart how Vietfest came together. I believe when I was doing research for Vietfest, we had a guest singer, and listening to one of her songs touched me personally, because her song was about stop the American Asian hate. And I would say thank you.
Cái điểm quan trọng nhất của câu trả lời của em mà nó luôn mang đến em đó là hãy ngưng sự ganh ghét về người châu Á, tại vì Covid là lý do. Cảm ơn em.